This hour, according to a report, the United Kingdom is planning a 3-tier lockdown amid a rise in the coronavirus cases. Now, the plan is yet to get an official nod, but a report says that the measures will include 3 alert levels depending on the severity of the outbreak. Level 1 comprises of already existing restrictions. This includes the rule of 6 for indoor and outdoor gatherings. Wearing a face mask remains mandatory, while weddings have been limited to 15 guests. Areas reporting a rise in transmission will enter alert level 2, which will include limit on outdoor gatherings and nursing home visits. Alert level 3 will include the most severe containment measures. Cafes and bars will be ordered to remain completely shut. Currently, they follow the 10 p.m. curfew rule. There will be a total ban on outdoor gatherings, and restrictions will also be imposed on overnight stays away from home. Sporting activities will also be limited. However, places of worship will remain open. Notably, schools have not been mentioned in the draft plan. The UK has nearly 42,400 COVID-19 deaths. London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark is live with us for more on this. Mandy, thank you so much for joining us. 3 alert levels have now been introduced, as we know that many have protested lockdown measures in the past as well. How have the people responded to this?
Well, it's being considered. It's not in place yet, but you're right. This is a 3 alert level. Think of it like a traffic light system, and it's for ease because there was a lot of confusion. Even the Prime Minister found it a bit confusing, all those rules that are taking place in all those local lockdowns. So this is to help the public really clearly understand what when alert level 1 is and alert level 3 is. So let's say 3 is the red light, and that means that you can't mix outside your household, no going to any social gatherings, but schools will remain open. And of course, level 1, if we consider a traffic light system, this is the green light, where it's what's currently in England at the moment, despite not considering those smaller local lockdowns, which is you can only gather in a group of 6. There's some outdoor activity that's allowed, and pubs are allowed to open until 10 o'clock. So it's for ease of clarity, because there has been an enormous amount of confusion about how these restrictions work, and people are not following the rules because they're simply just too confusing.
That's an interesting analogy, Mandy. But say this is put in place, how do you think this would affect the economic and overall functioning of the country after having come out of a strict lockdown just a few months ago?
Well, the Conservative Party, which Boris Johnson leads, is very much against more restrictions. They see this as only damaging the economy. This is as far as they would like to take it. Any involvement of closing hospitality and lifestyle, which the third level would entail, would have an uproar from not only those service sectors, but also the Conservatives. So there is an enormous amount of opposition. We've seen protests in the streets against more restrictions. So it will be met with a backlash. But really, without controlling COVID, the cases will only get worse. And the UK is one of the worst for cases in Europe.
And also, schools have not been mentioned in the draft plan. Is there any clarity yet on what the government may plan to do on that front?
It really looks like Boris Johnson will do everything not to close the schools down. Now, in around 2 weeks' time, there is what's known as half term, where most schools will get a week to 2 weeks break. There is a possibility, there's been a discussion that there might be what's known as a circuit break. So they might, if the COVID cases continue to rise, which they currently are, the government may decide during the school break that they will impose level 3 all over England, all over the nation, to try and really stop the spread of COVID-19. But if it doesn't over that school break, then it doesn't interrupt study. We really want to keep kids in school as much as possible, and that's why it's not in that document.
All right, Mandy, thank you so much for joining us with all those details.